In this video, I'll show you how to perform slow rolls in a DCS P-51 Mustang. If you follow these steps and practice, you'll be able to perform perfect slow rolls in your flight simulator. Welcome to Digital Flight Tech. Welcome to Digital Flight. I'm Joe and I'll be your instructor for today's lesson. We're on the ramp at Laughlin Bullhead International Airport in Bullhead, Arizona in a DCS P-51 Mustang. I'm going to show you how to do a slow roll today. A slow roll is a 360-degree roll around the aircraft's longitudinal axis as the aircraft maintains a straight and level flight path. If you follow the steps I show you today and practice on your own, you become an expert at this maneuver. Slow roll is more difficult to perform than other types of rolls, but it's an excellent way to improve your aircraft handling skills. A slow roll is an aerobatic competition maneuver. It's also an air combat maneuver when used as part of a split S, Emmelmann, or Cuban 8. In practicing, it's an excellent way to hone your flying skills. This roll requires simultaneous coordinated use of all three sets of control surfaces: elevators, ailerons, and rudder. The roll rate in a slow roll needn't be slow. The rate isn't important, though it should be constant throughout the roll. When first learning the maneuver, it's best to roll at a slow rate so that you can coordinate the controls. As you gain proficiency in the roll, you can increase the roll rate. A slow roll differs from the three other types of rolls, the aileron roll, the barrel roll, and the snap roll, in that during a slow roll, the aircraft moves along a straight and level flight path. The nose of the aircraft traces a circle on the horizon in order to maintain the pitch or lift necessary to maintain a constant altitude. The slower the aircraft is traveling, the larger the circle needs to be. There's always been a lot of confusion about the types of rolls, so to clarify, during an aileron roll, as opposed to the slow roll we'll be doing today, the pitch, airspeed, and altitude will vary slightly as the aircraft follows a corkscrew type flight path and the nose of the aircraft traces a capital D on the horizon, and one positive G is maintained throughout a properly performed aileron roll. And in a barrel roll, the pitch, heading, and altitude are constantly changing as the aircraft follows a helical flight path. A snap roll is totally different in that it is an accelerated autorotative stall that causes the aircraft to spin on its longitudinal axis. When performing a slow roll, the aircraft is traveling in a straight line, so the G forces exerted on the aircraft and pilot will vary from one positive G while upright at the beginning and end of the roll to one negative G while inverted. While inverted, the pilot hangs upside down in the harness. Alright, we'll close the canopy and we're ready to go. As we accelerate down the runway, torque pulls the nose of this aircraft off to the left as in most Western-built aircraft. I compensate with right rudder. It's important to ensure the aircraft is properly trimmed when we start the maneuvers today in order to minimize the effects of this torque. As we depart, I'll bring up the knee board so we can review the steps for performing a slow roll while we climb out toward the practice area. Okay, there's the knee board. So we'll start from straight and level toward a reference point on the horizon at about 300 miles per hour. The nose will transcribe a circle on the horizon with the circle's base resting on the reference point on the horizon. Be sure the aircraft is properly trimmed. You start the roll with a slight pitch up to help get the proper angle of attack for the rest of the roll, but immediately neutralize the elevators and apply aileron in the direction of the roll. Maintain the aileron deflection throughout the roll. Apply some rudder for coordination. At 45 degrees, begin to apply top rudder while maintaining neutral elevator. At 90 degrees, you'll have top rudder to keep the nose above the horizon, neutral elevator. At 135 degrees, begin to ease the stick forward, begin to neutralize the rudder. At 180 degrees, we're inverted, have stick forward to keep the nose above the horizon and neutral rudder. At 225 degrees, reduce the forward stick and begin to apply top rudder, opposite direction this time. 270 degrees, have top rudder to keep the nose above the horizon, neutral elevator. 315 degrees, begin to neutralize the ailerons and the rudder. And you roll out at 360 degrees, straight and level, with some back stick. Then you finish the original altitude and heading toward the reference point on the horizon. So here we are ready to start a series of rolls. The mountain out ahead will be our reference point. In the interest of expediency, we'll skip the clearing turns and aerobatic checks that we normally do before each roll. But get in the habit of always checking airspeed and altitude before commencing any maneuver. Our airspeed is good at 300 miles an hour, and altitude is good at 4,000 feet. And always start the maneuver from coordinated flight. To help perform the steps shown on the kneeboard, I'll call out the key steps as we roll. It'll sound something like this. Roll, roll, top rudder, forward stick, top rudder, and roll out straight and level. So here we go for our first roll, to the left this time. Straight and level, coordinated flight, airspeed's good at 300, altitude's good at 4,000. Pitch up, roll, roll, top rudder, forward stick, top rudder, roll out straight and level. Lost just a little bit of altitude that time, pretty good. Get in the habit of saying those words while performing the roll, at least until you've gotten good at it. Now let's take a look and see what this roll looks like from outside the aircraft. So this is the same roll we just did, just a scene from outside the aircraft. You can see the aircraft travels in a straight line, constant altitude, though its pitch changes slightly, but just enough for it to maintain the proper amount of lift to maintain altitude. So now we'll go back inside and we'll do another roll. Okay, a roll to the right this time. Straight level, coordinated flight. Airspeed's good at 300, altitude's good at 4,000. Pitch up, roll, top rudder, forward stick, top rudder, roll out straight and level. That was a little faster. And off heading just a little bit. Let's take a look and see what that one looks like from outside now. Here's roll number 2 again. The most common errors when performing a slow roll stem from lack of coordination. The slow roll requires utilizing and coordinating all 3 sets of controls throughout the maneuver. A common mistake is too much forward stick when inverted. The amount of forward stick required depends on the aircraft and the shape of the wing. If too much forward stick is applied, the aircraft begins following a corkscrew-like path as it approaches the inverted position and as it rolls beyond it. Okay, back inside now for another roll. I've reset the G meter for each of our rolls today. So at the beginning of the roll, the pitch up is small and don't allow a climb to develop. The purpose of the pitch up is to establish a slightly high angle of attack for the rest of the roll. And always check your airspeed and altitude. Remember, airspeed and altitude are indications of your energy state, always critical when performing aerobatic maneuvers or in air combat maneuvering. So roll to the left this time. Start with straight and level coordinated flight. Pitch up, top rudder, forward stick, top rudder, and roll out straight and level. And I lost just a little bit of altitude on that one, but not bad. So let's see what this one looks like from outside now. Another common error in performing slow rolls is insufficient or late application of top rudder when on knife edge. When at 90 degrees, the wings produce no lift. The fuselage must provide the lift necessary to counteract gravity. Since the fuselage is not an efficient airfoil, an exaggerated fuselage angle of attack is required for it to provide the necessary lift. The rudder acts as your elevator in this orientation to keep the nose up. If the nose isn't high enough and doesn't provide enough lift, the nose drops and the aircraft will follow a corkscrew path as it descends. And that completes our lesson today. So, back to Laughlin. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and learned something. It takes a lot of practice and concentration to perfect these rolls, so go out and practice and don't get discouraged. Use these steps as a guide, but understand that the amount and timing of the control inputs is dependent on the aircraft that you are flying. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like, leave a comment or question below. I always try to respond. And hit the subscribe button so you can be sure to see our next videos. Thanks for watching.